Hey friends, Miss Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This month we're talking all about the ABCs, and this week we are going to talk about how we use the ABCs when we read in a book, But first we need to sing our welcome song, and we need to get our clapping hands ready. So we're going to wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, and put them on our knees. Okay, here we go. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. What do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. What do we do after we stomp our feet? That's right, we twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. All right, for our last verse, we're gonna be as quiet as we can, and we're gonna whisper, hooray. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Our theme song this month is ABC ZYX. Are you ready to sing the alphabet forwards and backwards? Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Now let's sing them backwards on 3. 1, 2, 3. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, and G, F, E, D, C, B, and A. Now I've sung my ZYXs. That's not what you expected. Yay! Did you have a hard time going backwards? I got a little confused going backwards too, but I think we got it all there in the end. Great job, friends. Our first book today is called Waiting for the Biblio Burrow. And this edition, this copy of the book is written in both English and Spanish. And we're just going to read the English story, but it's kind of fun to look at the words on the page and see them in another language too. Now, do you know what a Biblio Burrow is? So Biblio Burrow is a word in Spanish, and it means the book donkey. And it is a book donkey is a library that is carried around to different towns on the back of a donkey. If you've ever seen a bookmobile, a big bus filled with books, that's another kind of mobile library, just like the Biblio burro or the book donkey is also a mobile library. It's a library that moves around and brings books to people in their own cities and towns and neighborhoods. It's pretty cool. So let's find out more about this mobile library, the Biblio burro. On a hill behind a tree, there is a house. In the house, there is a bed, and on the bed, there is a little girl named Anna, fast asleep, dreaming about the world outside and beyond the hill. Do you have a bed in your house? Yeah, me too. When Anna wakes up, the roosters kikeriki. That's Spanish for cock-a-doodle-doo. What do you think? Kikeriki. Does that sound like the sound a rooster makes? Yeah, it kind of does, huh? Papi is already at work on the farm and Mommy is busy in the garden. Anna bathes her little brother and feeds the goats and collects the eggs to sell at the market. So they're doing chores in the morning, right? They're all working together to take care of their farm. After breakfast, Anna and her mother walk down the hill. Anna closes her eyes against the sun. Do you do that when it's so bright out you have to close your eyes because the sun is too bright? And she wishes she was back in the cool of her house with her libro, which is Spanish for book. Anna has read her book, her only book, so many times she knows it by heart. The book was a gift from her teacher for working so hard on her reading and writing. But last fall, her teacher moved far away, and now there is no one to teach Anna and the other children in her village. What would that be like? What would it be like if you only had one book at home? I bet a lot of you have lots of books at home, right? And if you don't, then you can come here to the library anytime the library is open and check out as many books as you want. But in Anna's town, there is no library, there is no school, and there's not even a teacher to teach the kids how to read. That's very different than how we live, right? That's very different than our experiences. I think that would be hard. So at night, on her bed in the house on the hill, Anna makes up her own cuentos, Spanish for stories, and tells them to her little brother to help him fall asleep. Do you make up stories too, or do you have family members that will make up bedtime stories for you? Yeah, that can be fun, right? And that's what Anna and her little brother do. She tells him stories about make-believe creatures that live in the forests and the mountains and the sea. She wishes for new stories to read, but her teacher with the books has gone. Ooh, I love all of these imaginary creatures that she comes up with in her stories. Do you see the green one by the pond with the horns, and the one with the white ears in the tree with like a unicorn horn, and there's like a dragon lizard in the tree? I bet these stories are very fun. One morning, Anna wakes up to the sounds of tack-a-tack, clip-clop, and a loud ee-aw, ee-aw. What animal makes that sound? Ee-aw, ee-aw. When Anna looks down the hill below her house, she sees a man with a sign that reads Biblio burro. With the man, there are 2 burros. 2 donkeys. But what are they carrying? Look at the picture. What's on the backs of the donkeys? Yeah, It's books, right? This is the Biblio, the mobile library, the book donkeys. They're coming to visit Anna's village for the very first time. Libros, books. Anna runs down the hill to the man with the sign and the burros and the books. Other children run to him too, skipping down the hills and stomping through the fields. Everybody's pretty excited. Who are you? Who are they? The children ask. The man says, I am a librarian, a bibliotecario, and these are my burros, Alpha and Beto. Get it? Alfabeto? Alphabet! He named his donkeys Alphabet. The perfect name for book donkeys, don't you think? Welcome to the Biblio, my biblioteca, which is Spanish for library. But, Señor, Ana says, I thought libraries were only in big cities and inside buildings. Not this one, says the librarian. This is a moving library. Then he spreads out his books and invites the children to join him under a tree. What does it look like they're doing under the tree? It looks kind of like Storytime, doesn't it? Once upon a time, the librarian begins, sharing the story of an elephant who swings from a spider's web. He reads from books with beautiful pictures, then helps the little ones learn their abecedario, their ABCs. Right? Because they don't have a teacher to teach them, so the librarian is helping teach them. And he sings A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Finally, he says, now it's your turn. Pick out books, and in a few weeks, I will be back to collect them and bring you new ones. Me too? Asks Anna. Especially you, says the librarian with a smile. Can you smile? Yeah. He could tell that Anna loves books and loves to read, don't you think? So many cuentos, so many stories. While Alpha and Beto chomp the sweet grass under the tree, Anna picks up book after book and finds pink dolphins and blue butterflies and castles and fairies and talking lions and magic carpets. Look at the picture of all of the different stories that now she gets to read. Someone should write a story about your burros, Anna tells the librarian, rubbing Alpha's nose and feeding more grass to Beto. Why don't you? He asks. Then he packs up his books and is off. Enjoy, he calls to the children. I will be back. Anna runs up the hill to her house, hugging the books close to her chest. She can't wait to share her books with her brother, and that night she reads until she can't keep her eyes open any longer. Oh, what a wonderful day. So each morning Anna does her chores, right? Chores first, and then she reads and looks out her window. She listens for the sounds of Alpha and Beto, but weeks pass and the librarian doesn't return. Uh-oh. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go read, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go draw, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go write, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who finally says, Go to bed, Anna. Have your parents ever answered your questions like that, where they say, go do something else? I don't know the answer to that right now. One night, Anna dreams she is flying over her country on a butterfly's back. Oh, that would be a fun way to travel, don't you think? And in her dream, she crosses mountains and oceans and rivers and jungles, bringing stories everywhere she goes. Stories fly from her mouth and her fingers like magic, falling into the hands of children waiting below. When Anna wakes up, she misses Alpha and Beto in the Biblio Burro's books, but she remembers that the librarian told her she could write a book. And so, with paper and string and colored pencils, she does. Raise your hand if you have ever written a story. Yeah, it's a fun thing to do, isn't it? You get your paper and you can put your letters down. Maybe you have a grown-up help you. Maybe you draw the pictures and you speak and you tell the grown-up the story and then they write it down for you. So you are the illustrator and the grown-up is the writer. Yeah, there's all kinds of different ways that you can write stories. There are even stories without any words. Did you know that? It's true. Finally, just when Anna thinks she'll never see the Biblio Burro again, she wakes up to ee-ah, ee-ah, and children yelling. She runs down the hill with her library books and a special surprise of her very own. I wrote this cuento for you, she says. Que bueno, the librarian says, and he reads her story to the children under the tree. Now take a look at the story that she wrote. Do you see the cover of the book, the front of her book? Does that look familiar? Looks kind of like this book. When it's time to go, Anna's book is packed carefully on the burro's back, ready to be carried away over the hills and through the fields to another child who is asleep on a bed, in a house, on a hill, behind a tree, dreaming of Alpha and Beto and all the new stories the Biblio Burro will bring. The end. And I love that in the back of this book, they talk about the real Biblio Burros that inspired this story. And those donkeys and that librarian live in Colombia. And that teacher, his name was Luis Soriano Boriquez. And he would bring his donkeys and his books to children in small villages in Colombia and help them learn how to read. Isn't that amazing? So one of the very first letters that we learn when we're learning the alphabet is A. It's the very first letter. Can you make an A with your hand? Yeah, just like this. This is A in American Sign Language, and this is a capital A written in English. And you can draw an A in the air too. So up, down, and then a line across. So we are going to sing a song called A-P-P-L-E. Do you have a guess what that word spells? That's right, apple. A-P-P-L-E. And so we're going to sing our song about the apple, and we are gradually going to take away letters until we only have one letter left. So here is our song. I had an apple big and red, and all of it was mine. Oh, A-P-P-L-E, 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 and all of it was mine. Oh. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to the A. Bye, A. I had an apple big and red, and all of it was mine. Oh, P-P-L-E, 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 and all of it was mine. Oh. All right, we're going to say goodbye to the first P. by P. I had an apple big and red and all of it was mine. Oh, P-L-E, 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 and all of it was mine. Oh. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to the next P. Bye, P. All right, how many letters do we have left in our word? 1, 2, that's right, 2 words, or excuse me, 2 letters. What are the 2 letters that we have left? That's right, we have L and E. Good job. I had an apple big and red and all of it was mine. Oh, L-E. Oops, I did a P. L-E. L-E and all of it is mine. Oh. My hands got confused. I was so used to doing the P's, but they're all gone now. Just the L and the E. But now we're gonna say goodbye to the L. Bye, L. Now we just have 1 letter left. E, that's right. I had an apple big and red and all of it was mine. Oh, L-E, E, E, and all of it was mine. Oh. This song, I gotta keep track of the letters in my head, and then sometimes I say them out loud, like just now when I said the L, even though it's all gone. So we just have the E. So now we're gonna put all of our letters back up, and we're gonna spell our word. A, P, P, L, whoop, L, E. A, P, P, L, E. Apple. Good job, friends. Okay, now we've got a rhyme about 5 little books. So let's count our books, make sure we have all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in our rhyme, we have a child who comes along with their library card to check the books out to bring them home and read. Just like Anna in our story about the Biblio. So here we go, ready? We're gonna count down. 5 little books at the library, 5 little books as great as can be. Along comes a child with a library card to take one home to read. So we're gonna take the book off the shelf and put it in our pile to bring home and read. So how many books do we have left now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little books at the library. 4 little books as great as can be. Along comes a child with a library card to take one home to read. How many books do we have left? 1, 2, 3. 3 little books at the library. 3 little books as great as can be. Along comes a child with a library card to take one home to read. How many books do we have left? 1, 2. 2 little books at the library. 2 little books as great as can be. Along comes a child with a library card to take one home to read. How many books do we have left? That's right, 1. 1 little book at the library. 1 little book as great as can be. Along comes a child with a library card to take one home to read. Oh my goodness, look, our library is empty. So after our friend takes all of these books home and reads them, what do you do with library books? That's right, you bring them back to the library. So let's bring our books back to the library and we'll count them all to make sure we've got them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Our last book is called Reading Makes You Feel Good, and it's written and illustrated by Todd Parr. What do you think? Does reading make you feel good? Reading makes me feel good. I love reading books by myself or out loud to you or to my partner. It is so fun. Sometimes I even read books to my dogs at home. Have you ever read a book to an animal? Yeah, it's a great way to practice your reading skills. And I love that you join me here every week to listen to the books that we can read together. So let's read about why reading makes us feel good. Reading makes you feel good because you can imagine you are a brave princess or a scary dinosaur. Help, help, save me! Grr, grr, grr. You can learn about cool places and people. We did that today, right? We learned all about Luis and the Biblio burrows, Alpha and Beta, and we learned something new about a place called Colombia. You can make a new friend. What is happening in this picture? Yeah, we have a friend who is reading a book about cats to their very long dog. And you can read anywhere. Reading makes you feel good because you can learn how to make pizza. Did you know a book can teach you how to make pizza? Yeah, it's called a cookbook. And we have a bunch of cookbooks here at the library, even cookbooks just for kids. You can find your favorite animal at the zoo. How does reading help you find your favorite animal at the zoo? That's right. There are signs all over the zoo with letters on them that make words that tell you where to find your favorite animal. Do you have a favorite animal at the zoo? Yeah, I have a favorite animal too. Actually, I have a lot of favorite animals. I like the big cats, like the tigers and the cougars. I like their big paws. They look like they would be snuggly, but I know they're not. I also like the reptiles at the zoo, like the snakes and the alligators. I think they're fun. And because I can read the signs, I know where to find them. You can make someone feel better when they're sick. Right? Here's a grandma reading a book to her grandson when he has chickenpox. You can travel to faraway places without leaving home, right? And you can read anywhere. Where are these friends reading? Yeah, they're reading in the ocean. Look at all the books that octopus is holding. My goodness. That is an impressive story time for those fish. Reading makes you feel good because you can do it all by yourself. Where is this friend in this picture? Yeah, it looks like a library, doesn't it? Now, some of you might not be able to read all by yourselves yet, but that's okay because you will learn how to read. And then you can pull any book off the shelf and read it without any help. And it might be hard to learn at first, but I know you can do it. Books teach you how to take care of your pet. What is the pet in this picture? It's not a dog. It's not a cat. It's a duck. You can follow signs on the road. That's right, not just at the zoo. There's signs all over the place. There's signs on the road. There's signs at restaurants. There's signs here at the library. All kinds of different signs. And you can share a book with anyone. So look, they have some buildings here. You can share a book with someone at the hospital, at the shelter, either for people or for animals, at the library, of course, at school, all kinds of places you can share books with anyone. And you can do it anywhere. What's in this picture? That's right, it's a bookmobile, another kind of moving library. Oh my goodness, you really can read anywhere. And then there's a little message from the author at the end. He says, reading is important. When you read, or when someone reads to you, it helps you learn and discover new things. Curl up with someone special and read a book. You'll feel really good. Love, Todd. P.S. See if you can read all the words I put in the pictures. Ooh, that would be a fun game to do. Check this book out and see if you can read all the words in the pictures, not just all the words that tell the story. What a fun game. All right, friends, that's the end of our story time. And before we sing our goodbye song, we want to say a special thank you to the Solon Women's Club. They know that reading makes you feel good, and that's why they support libraries in Solon, including our library and this digital story time. All the digital story times in the month of March are supported by the Solon Women's Club. So thank you for helping us experience how reading makes us feel good. And now it's time for our goodbye song. We read a book and we played a game and we sang a song together. We read a book and we played a game. We had a fun adventure. Now go read a book and go play a game and sing a little tune. Go read a book and go play a game. We'll see you back here soon. See you next time, friends.